All right, what's up, guys? So, Atazi has uploaded a video titled Twitch Simp crashes out when rejected by favorite streamer. Yeah, I think this is that situation with it was Senna and it was like I don't remember all the streamers' names. I think Valkyrie was there. I don't know. But overall, cause yeah, it was just it didn't happen that long ago. What was it like? It was like 4 weeks ago. Yeah, it wasn't even that long ago. So but yeah, I'm not good with names or remembering names. But anyways, yeah, that was a pretty crazy situation. It's like that guy got so upset because, excuse me, they didn't want to be bothered with him. But it's like, okay, well, look at how you're acting. That's why people don't want to be bothered with you. If you're out here threatening people's lives because oh, they're not giving me their number, it's like, well, fam, I'm like, it's probably for good reasons too. It's like, imagine if she did give you your or give out her number, and then it's like something happens, and then yeah, then all of a sudden you got hold of her number. It's like you could easily track that stuff down, and so yeah, it's probably for the best. Yeah, stuff like that you don't get that information out. Not even those social media platforms. Now, I mean, he most likely knew who they were, but still, I'm like, you get away from me. And it's like, if you're a big streamer, definitely have some sort of security or some reinforcements in case guys like that show up. At least you got somebody there to defend you, or you could defend yourself. And yeah, just go to a range of some sorts. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what kind of range, but yeah, go to a range. They usually, you could, yeah, I think they have it where you could bring your own weapon, or they might have some weapons there for you to use. But it's a projectile, weapon and stuff. And yeah, get to practicing with that. So in case, you feel that your life is being threatened, especially you dealing with guys like that, you have something to defend yourself, and then he can find himself at an Elvis Presley concert. So, but anyways, make sure if you guys haven't, go subscribe to Atazi for more videos like this. And with that being
This Twitch
said,
fan crashes out and tries to attack his favorite streamer after being rejected by her, and this really just shows how far these parasocial relationships have gone and how desperate this can make some people, because this is a new low. And there's definitely a lot more to the story, because the internet's reaction to this is actually a mixed bag, which was surprising to me. But then
yeah, I did remember seeing where some people were like, oh, you guys overreacted. If I'm out and about and somebody's threatening my life, however I react, that's how I'm going to genuinely react. So yeah, I might just look at the person and be like, yeah, that person's crazy. If they're chasing me and they're actually trying to like put hands on me, then yeah, my thing is this, if I fight back and I get the upper hand and I start doing bodily harm to that person, I ain't trying to see nobody on the internet talking about, oh, you overreacted. They wasn't trying to. No, my thing, and the funny thing is, I just remember kind of not no situation like this, but there was a time where somebody of a younger age, they were a minor, but they were threatening me, talking about, oh, they're gonna kidnap me, kill me, set me on fire, then starve me to death. And I'm thinking to myself, do you think a person is trying to eat when their whole body has been engulfed in flames? I'm just saying. So, but I did say, I was like, if there's ever a time when me and their paths cross and they are trying to do something to me, I will kick them in the throat. So I'm like, you take that however you want to take that. You think it's a promise? I'm like, however you want to take it, I guarantee and I promise you, a size 10 shoe is going to go across your throat. I don't care how old you are. But yeah, people were trying to come after me for saying that. Like, oh, you said that to a minor. I'm like, oh, okay, well, he's not. This was years ago, so I'm like, he ain't a minor now. So I think it's okay for for that offer to still, or I guess for now, for it to be put on the table. So maybe back then it might not been a good time to say it, but yeah, I wasn't. If people thought I was gonna apologize for that, I'm like, I'm not apologizing. So if you guys are gonna try to get on me about that, so be it. But anyways,
top of this,
if people knew the backstory behind it, then I'm like, yeah, then you'll know why I had said that to that guy. But anyway,
the same day, one of the largest female streamers, Amaranth, was almost a victim of a kidnapping and ransom situation, but that's just a whole nother story. So clearly, the other day was a very dangerous day to be a female streamer. But today we have this guy who apparently stream sniped the streamers, Emiru, Valkyrie, and Senna. Stream sniping is where you essentially watch an IRL stream and show up to where they are in real life, using the stream to find them. And that's essentially what he did. They had this harmless interaction with him at first, where he started by asking, hey, can I get a photo?
Hey, is that Emily? Is that? No way. Yo, can I get a picture with you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, let's get a picture.
like so calm. I'm like, how did it go from that to like you threatening them? Because I'm I'm like, yeah, my thing is this. If I see streamers that I know out and about, and I feel like now it's probably going to be a situation where it's like they also have to know you. Like, I can't just be like, hey, I'm a fan of you guys, because I feel like it's going to be a situation. There ain't going to be no 50-50 chance on whether this fan's crazy or not. I know I'm not crazy, so I know I wouldn't do no stuff like that. But I'm just saying, it's like, I feel like now it's going to be difficult for people like me where, yeah, if I were to see them and I'm like, dang, I would like to ask for a picture, but I feel like it would have to be a situation where they know me. So at least then it's like, okay, like they don't have nothing to worry about and stuff. But if not, then it's like, yeah, I feel like if it's a situation where I'd say that, oh, okay, I have a picture. They're like, nope, sorry. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's because of guys like this where it's like, you don't know how to act in public pretty much. But anyway.
But then it just goes on to him shaking everyone's hand and just awkwardly trying to hang out with them.
This is Cinna. Hello.
I was waiting for it.
Nice to meet you.
Hi. My name's Russell.
Hi, nice to meet
Nice to meet
you.
you.
Hey, Rosie.
Rosie, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My name's Russell.
Oh, Rosie was the camera. Okay. Because I remember I was all like, I don't know about the, I thought it was another streamer, but okay, so it was the cameraman. But still, regardless, I'm like, it's one of those things, if the camera had, like, if it hold on to it, like when it has like a selfie stick almost, I'm like, yeah, if I'm that cameraman, y'all would have just seen that camera kind of like go down like that, swing forward, and go across that guy's chin. I'm like, nah, bruh. I'm like, hey, look. I'm like, sorry to Valkyrie, Imaru, and Sida. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you guys got money. You guys got phones. We'll just have to go sign into one of your guys' accounts and stream off of that. But I'm like, or we could go over to Best Buy real quick, and I'll get you guys a camera and stuff where you guys can get it. But regardless, I'm like, yeah, this camera is getting broken across this man's chin.
Oh, we can't because we have we're on a time.
What stuff you gotta
we're
do?
on a time limit. So
There's no time frame.
did you want to?
Shoot.
Oh, sorry. Excuse us. Sorry.
You're like, what stuff you gotta do? I'm like, my stuff. See, it's things like that where people, they feel like they're so entitled to know what you're doing. I'm like, yeah, that's one of those things. He's doing that to women because he thinks, oh, because I'm bigger than them, it would have, man, I'm like, I really wish it could have been. If you guys had seen that movie Death Proof and seen the end, and you know what I'm talking, I really wish it was a situation like that with this guy, so at least then he knows not to do this no more. But that's the scary thing about it. It's like he ain't gonna learn his lesson until it's like a life or death situation. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I guarantee that, I promise you, he wouldn't have did that with me, and he wouldn't have did that with nobody else. So if I'm minding my business and somebody approaches me, yeah, I guess if they're a fan, so you know, I'd stand there and talk with them for a little bit. But if I'm like, oh yeah, I got some things to do, and they're like, what things? And it's just like the way that he said it, and I'm like, that's why I would have taken notice that I did, just like how I took notice of it now, and I've been like, my things, whether you have to be worried, yeah, it definitely would have been an argument right then and there, and it probably would have been a fight, and we would have been rolling around all on this. It looks like they were on a pier or something, but anyways.
Okay, so.
Do you need a photo?
Oh yeah.
Which, I mean, this is fine. It's not a crime to be awkward, but he does eventually take a photo.
Please forgive me. My brain is actually like lagged.
All right, fuck. Let's take a picture. Fuck it, let's get one, Rosie. Come on.
Cute.
Okay.
Rosie too.
The cameraman.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, Russell.
Nice to meet you.
How's it going?
Nice.
And if only it was just left at that. If that was the only altercation, that would have been completely fine, because then they continued for about 20 minutes until they had another interaction with the same guy. But apparently they didn't recognize him at first because he changed his clothes. Dude literally put on a disguise to meet them again. But he then asks one of the streamers for her number.
So this is the part, I didn't ever seen that part where he asked for the picture. That I didn't know about. But I did see this part where it looked like they were on like this pier-like thing. And yeah, I was all like, man, you know, I just remember when that video was going viral, and I'm like, man, I don't get why people, you gotta like act a certain way when you're seeing your favorite streamer. I can't even say that that's his favorite streamer. I'm like, nah, bro, he's just a weirdo, got some weird stalkerish thing about him. And I'm like, bro, there should be no reason why you carrying on like that. My thing is, and I've thought of that numerous times, I'm like, what if I see my favorite streamer, or just a streamer that I overall know and things, I'm like, oh, cool, you know. And I just feel like now situations like this, it's kind of like you want to just more so respect their boundaries and not really approach them, and you know, and ask them, hey, can I get a picture? Because I don't know, I don't want to have that anxiety go up for them. I guess like if I put myself in their shoes, it's like you don't really know whether this person is crazy or not. So like, yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know. Like it would be something where maybe I tweet out and just be like, oh, I saw Senna at Foot Locker and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, just leave it at that and things. But yeah, it's something. Even then, I still feel like that's weird. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like the more and more I see situations like this, it's just best, I feel like, to be a big content creator. So at least then it's like, it could be like a respectful interaction and stuff, where it's all like, it's just like two friends just kind of running into each other and things. I feel like that's like best scenario they could like happen out of that. But is everybody trying to be a content creator? No. So that's why I'm like, man, it's just, it's difficult for that person. But I guess like overall, it's like maybe if you just kind of put it out there, it's like, hey, I'm not weird. I'm not trying to do anything weird. Can I just get a picture? Yeah, it's like that can work too. But yeah, still, I feel like that most content creators, they are going to have that anxiety. That's why I don't be doing no IRL videos and streams, because I just know that there's some weirdos out there. But anyways.
Proposal.
Yes, please.
Oh God.
Oh God, yes, that is. Can I sing for a change? A change for the better, as you would say.
Okay.
And the change would be for her number.
Oh.
Can I get your number?
I don't have a phone.
Oh, wait, put your number in mine.
I don't know how to use a phone. I'm sorry.
Wait.
Bro literally begged
That
for her
is
number.
so weird. I'm like, bruh, nah, that's weird. If I'm that cameraman or one of the guys I'm like, hey, look, let's just go. I'm like, this dude being weird at things. Then if I recognize him, I'm like, bruh, didn't you just ask us for a picture not too long ago? I'm like, man, no, get out of here. But I imagine there are probably people in chat that recognize him. Was like, wait a minute, wasn't that the same guy from earlier? So yeah, I like, man, no. I'm like, we going, get out of here with that. It's like, bro, I just look. It's like if you build up a conversation, I guess like, yeah, there's some women out there where they're easygoing and yeah, they're willing to give out their numbers or social media accounts to random guys and things. I don't encourage it. I don't recommend it, because you got some weirdos out there. But yeah, overall, it's like not every woman is like that though. It's like there's gonna be at times where it's like there's gonna be women that want to do things the old-fashioned way. They want to go on some dates. They want to get to know you. They want to, like know a little bit, have like a conversation. So at least then, some number could be exchanged, or social media platforms, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I just think that it's one of those, like, people need to understand that. You're like, more, because I feel like women don't really be doing no stuff like that. They don't, because I'm like, yeah, if a woman's chasing me around up here doing some stuff like that, I'm like, I know I wouldn't say I have an athletic background, but I'm like, I do work out, I do exercise. I feel like I'm trained in a lot of different departments. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I wouldn't trip about it, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, what is going on right now? I'm like, nah, I'm getting out of here. So
in that Squidward begging position. I don't think ever coming across as pathetic has ever helped anyone pull a woman. So she denies him. But then he says the dumbest thing possible, which just escalates the situation.
Wait, so I'm gonna keep following her. I'm gonna keep following her.
God, another one. No. You're gonna have to get in line. There's too many stalkers.
That's not how you really raise. That's not the raise.
Get behind me. Okay.
yeah, you can hold on for a second. Wait a minute. You can see her face, right? She's not feeling. She knew that something was off with this situation. Maybe she recognized the guy, or she just like, yeah, that's just a creepy interaction and stuff. But you can see in her face that she is not feeling that.
Okay. Oh my God.
Kendrick.
Are we getting churros?
Kendrick, add it into the list.
Yeah, they creeped out.
Yeah, that'll get you the girl, dude. Like, you just made a harmless moment, essentially, of a dude shooting his shot into the realization of, oh, wow, this guy might be an obsessive stalker. This is creepy. We have to run. But naturally, he then made things infinitely worse for himself by showing back up and trying to attack them.
What's good?
Oh, showing back up to the. I was like, I don't know why. It was like I thought for some reason like he like got people to like help him out and things. That's why I'm all like, I ain't even gonna hide it. I'm pulling out a gun and I'm like, hey, y'all better back off, because I'm like, there ain't no reason for you guys to be carrying on like this. She don't want to be bothered with you. I'm like, Yamiru, say that you don't want to be bothered with them. Then she like, I don't want to be bothered with you. Okay, cool. Take the hint. Go on about your business. But yeah, it's that type of stuff where I'm all like, no, it's like people. Look, the thing is this. I don't encourage the use of a weapon just to be like, used or for like just random reasons. Like if it's a situation that can easily be handled without a weapon, then okay, cool. But stuff like that, I feel like that he's not going to learn or understand unless he's. It's like I heard like background noises, but anyways, but yeah, it's like he's not going to know or understand unless like a weapon is being displayed and stuff, just to let him know. It's like, hey, dude, you need to back off. All right, I don't want to do this, but you're really putting me in a corner right now. So I'm like, you really need to back off right now, because yeah, it's that I know people gonna probably be all like, there ain't no reason to discharge a weapon. I'm like, fam, I hear stories all the time with stalkers where they are trying to end a person's life. My thing is this. When you pay attention to the internet business long enough, you know that there are stalkers out there where it's like, it's either they're with me or they're not on this earth anymore. That's how every stalker's mindset works. Okay, prove me wrong then. But I'm saying, like, this guy, the thing is this, people will say that guy was just trolling. That's not trolling. Not everything is going to be considered trolling. This is weird. This is awkward for people, and it's scary for some. So that's why I'm like, man, no, you can't. The thing is this, you can't do stuff like that and then try to hide behind that, oh, I'm just trolling statement. That's not trolling. All right, you're being weird, and it's one of those things where I'm like, one day you're going to, because I guarantee and I promise you, excuse me, if they I don't know if they do what their relationship status is, but that's what I'm about. Like, yeah, I think that should needs to be a thing though with a lot of different women. It's like, just lie, guy. If a weird guy approaches you, all like, oh, can I get your number? Just be like, I got a boyfriend, so at least then you ain't even gotta have that, so the conversation could just overall end and stuff. But and maybe then they might like, oh, okay, faithful to the relationship, I gotta respect that and things. But overall, I was getting ready to say something. It just completely slipped my mind. But yeah, but if not that I'm like, yeah, if that dude starts to fight, and that's where you guys just gotta do some Power Ranger stuff and just jump him, all right? Because I feel like I was gonna say something, but I couldn't even think of it. So I'm like, violence might be the only answer. Guys like that, I'm like, I think it's one of those situations where it's like, I feel like I was gonna say something about like people supporting him and stuff. I'm like, if that's a good like, then them people are just as weird. But anyways, but yeah, violence might be the only answer, because if that guy get to chasing you, threatening your life, then yeah, that it is gonna get a time you are gonna have to swing on him or use a weapon on him and stuff. But anyways, this is the part that I had.
Let's go. Oh no, we're not.
No, no.
Hey, excuse me?
No.
Security?
Emily, no.
Hey,
Stop.
whoa.
Fight right now.
What?
Get away from
Hey, what's going on?
Security.
He's harassing us.
What's going on? What's going on? Right now. I'll kill you right now. I'll kill you right now.
That's crazy. He just run off.
Security, please.
Security.
And then the stream cuts. So like, how did this guy go from, hey, can I get a picture, to
Yeah, I'm like, all I'm saying is that, or no, I think that's what I was gonna say, is that if they had boyfriends, he wouldn't have been doing that while their boyfriends was there. Because my thing is this: if I'm in a relationship and then like, let's say if it's like me and then like there's two other guys that's there, where it's like we're in a relationship with them, it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't even need to know them, but I feel like we just gotta kind of like give each other that head nod. Then that's when we just direct our attention to that guy. I'm like, now you gotta fight us. So I'm like, what you trying to do? You trying to leave us alone, or you trying to fight? Because I'm like, I guarantee, I promise you make any sudden movements towards us, we just gonna dive on you. We gonna get to swinging, and it's one of those things where it's like cops is gonna have to get involved, and we most likely are gonna have to get arrested. So I'm like, what you trying to do, bruh? Because that's one of those things where it's like, yeah, guys, I'm saying there are people out there that don't understand like when to just leave a person alone until something happens to them. I feel like that, just talking on my content creating career real quick, it's like there are people out there where they try to, I guess, like, I don't know, like they have a little bit of a stalkerish you know, personality. Not even a little bit. No, there's people that I didn't came across on the internet where I'm like, yeah, you're a stalker. You're 100% a stalker. But if it ever came down to it where I needed to defend myself, I'm like, I'm not gonna be one of those people where I'm like, oh, I need to try to do the right thing because I'm a content creator. It's one of those things where people are going to look at me differently. It is because I have said this all throughout my career. I just want to be left alone. I don't like being bothered. I don't like people putting me in situations. I just want to be left alone. So if you put me in a situation, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I got to think along the lines like a content creator. No, I'm going to be thinking of, like along the lines the day before I became a content creator. What was my mindset then? And then that's that's the side of me that you're going to see. You ain't going to see TMossBoss. You're going to see Tyler that was getting suspended left and right for fighting and things when he was in school. I'm like, that's the Tyler, or that's the TMossBoss that you're going to get. So yeah, it's just people out there where, you know I shouldn't say that in videos because I got to set the example. But at times, I'm like, who's going to set the example for them? So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's just, to anybody out there, if you're a fan of somebody, cool, be a fan of them. Like their social media posts. Watch their streams. If you see them out in public, yeah, cool, ask for a picture and things. Be calm, cool, respectful, and collected with them. But if you start doing some stuff that's gonna raise the suspicion that they're gonna have to, like, pretty much get violent, don't be surprised. All right, so because yeah, guys like him, he don't know how to fight. I guarantee. That's what I was saying. He thinks he could take advantage of women and people, and that's, and just play this weird crazy. But I'm like, yeah, I'd be like, fam, I'll show you crazy. You want to see crazy? I'll show you crazy.
Can I sing for your number, please? To I'm going to kill you, all within a span of a few minutes. And clearly, he knew everything is being streamed because he was using their stream to find them. So now, people are posting his face all over the internet to try and find him. Dude should literally be studied for having the worst riz possible. I mean, this is actually worse than Shelbo. We just covered the Shelbo guy who's been stalking Pokimane, claiming that he's married to her. But Shelbo isn't
a donating. I look, bruh. I donated one because I used to be heavily into donate, but it was more so to like friends to like help them out and stuff. So yeah, I just, because I remember donating to one of my friends. This is when she was a streamer, but no, I donated to her to help her get a gaming PC, and then was just kind of like donating. I remember Twitch, they actually sent me a thing. It was like that like yearly recap thing, and they let me know like how many streamers I had donated to, but it would be like 100 bits or a gifted sub or something. Like I wasn't doing like donating literally my life savings. I wasn't doing that. And my thing is this: I'm gonna be a supporter, but I'm gonna be a smart supporter. All right, I'm gonna make sure of it that I'm still in a good position before I start trying to do things. But I'm like, bro, that's crazy, man. That's crazy to lose everything just donating to a streamer that you're claiming to be married to. If you're married to that streamer, you wouldn't have to donate to them. I mean, I think, yeah, if I was married to a streamer, I would just do it just to kind of like poke fun, or like not poke fun, but just, yeah, do some like actual legitimate trolling where I about like, oh, like, babe, can I have $20 real quick? She gives me the, like, pulls the 20 out her wallet, gives it to me. I just walk off with some evil smirk on my face just so I could donate $20 to her using my own money, of course, on my own account. But yeah, just felt like, oh, okay, cool. It's like I pretty much gave you your money back. I'm like, no, it's cool. I got you. I'll pay you back. Just that's what I would consider trolling. But yeah, you got people out there where they try to have their own little mindset of what trolling is, and I'm like, that ain't trolling, bruh. There is no how that guy was acting. There ain't no way to defend that. But anyway,
approaching Pokimane on the street and threatening to kill her. There's a clear difference there. But either way, I mean, it's safe to say, buddy, you played yourself. What an absolute skill issue. I saw people saying they went to the police, so there might actually be some legal repercussions here. If anything, I would guess that it would be aggravated harassment. He did make some contact with the cameraman, but I don't think he ever struck anyone, and they haven't really said that. So overall, just what a weird and horrifying situation. And imagine just being known as the dude who couldn't handle rejection from a female streamer that he literally stalked. Threatening to kill someone over rejection, that is just straight up the bottom of the barrel. But this is all on the back of, I guess, a stream marathon that these women were doing together. And after that incident, they decided to end the marathon to process all this. And a lot of people were kind of clowning on him like that. Like Ice Poseidon went on his stream and said, oh, that's just a regular occurrence for him. But also,
yeah, I'm like, okay, here's the thing, to just talk on that. that is regular for you. That seemed like that was their first time dealing with that. So it's like, how are you going to tell somebody like, oh, it's like it's just a regular occurrence, like it shouldn't. Well, I guess just going based off of that, it's like that's not something to say, when somebody there, like, because I do remember the stream following after that situation, and they were distraught by that. They were like, they were crying. Like, you could tell. The thing is this, because I think even I remember seeing some people saying that they were doing it for views. That didn't seem like something that you would do for views. It's, I know a lot of people would think that, like, oh, all streamers are just trying to do stuff for views. All of those streamers, from Valkyrie, Senna, Emiru, I'm trying to think, it was like, I think Emily, there's a streamer, who else, and maybe even the Rosie person, he's a streamer too, the cameraman. But I feel like that they're all in a position to where they don't have to do things for views. So that's why I'm like, I'm just saying, like, I'm not on the same scale as them, but it seemed like that would be more likely for me to do something like that for views rather than them. I'm like, they're in a good position when it comes down to content creating. So yeah, it's just, people out there, of course, they gonna have their own opinions about it, but I'm like, realistically, no, ain't nobody doing that for views, or it ain't something that they should just, just brush off and things. Nah, bro, it's like that's a scary situation for anybody. So I think some handle the situation a little bit better than others, but for everybody, it is gonna be a scary situation. So
I spent over half a decade incubating an audience like that. This is clearly something very new for them. This doesn't happen a lot. If it would, we would have definitely heard of it before. So I wouldn't really compare the two. Just because this stuff happens to other male streamers more frequently doesn't negate or remove the trauma that they got from this event. Because, like, rewatching this clip, it's hard to really judge what was happening because the cameraman was pretty much filming them the whole time and not the attacker. And then obviously the stream cut very quickly before they got out of danger, it seems like. But Valkyrie did go on to address it in a pretty long tweet here. Honestly, F all of you guys for blaming our employees for not doing enough. Our team worked so hard to help us put this marathon together and did their best for being put on the spot. No means no. You're not entitled to anybody. The fact that this man threatened our lives after being rejected while we were in a group in public and live on stream just shows the harsh reality women live in. This happens off camera to women all the time. Seeing accounts that have harassed us for a 10-second clip of downtime during a 24/7 marathon, accusing us of just begging for subs, women do nothing, then farming engagement from the stalker situation while we IRL stream, has been sad to see. Seeing accounts accusing my friends and I for faking this and blaming us instead of questioning the man's behavior has also been embarrassing to see. I've learned that it doesn't matter how much I accomplish in this industry or how much I try to gain respect, some men will hate women and blame others no matter the situation. While it may be discouraging, I hope anyone reading—
that's something where I'm like, I think a lot of those men, they just grew up without women figures in their life. I'm like, that's something where I'm like, that's one thing about me, is that you'll always see me be respectful to anybody. But yeah, female streamers, I'm like, there's no reason for me, unless they say or do something crazy or disrespectful. That'll be the only time when I think I will say something crazy or disrespectful. But other than that, I'm like, Pokimane, Senna, Emiru, Valkyrie, I'm like, if you see me say anything disrespectful to them, it's because I would like to think that we're friends. But I'm like, not like right now, but I'm just saying, like, when that time does come, and if me and their paths ever cross, and that's just like how we communicate with one another, I'm like, that'll be the only, but it ain't gonna be disrespectful like along the lines like what that guy was saying. If anything, it's just like, yeah, just kind of like making fun of each other, so like that's as far as it'll ever go with me. But yeah, that's just that, I don't know, I guess that's just who I am and stuff. I feel like that I don't know what life would have been like if I didn't have women figures in my life, but I would like to think I would still be the same person, but anyways,
this does not quit doing what makes them happy because of the misinformation/hate. As you can see, some hate is inevitable. The clip doesn't show the rest of what happened after we cut the camera, but I feel what was shown was important to witness. I'm so relieved we're alive and will be even more cautious and safe in the future. I hope other women and streamers learn from seeing this interaction and also be aware that this can happen to anybody, anywhere. Stay safe. Yeah, So to add some context here, there was a bunch of viral tweets responding to a take that Pokimane had where she said that there was no female version of IShowSpeed or Kai Cenat. And the internet clapped back by showing clips of Pokimane and the other women we just covered earlier sitting and eating while talking to chat. So that's what Ray was referring to when it comes to that out of context clip. But I mean, talking about that conversation, there's just no female streamer that has had a run like Kai or Speed, where they blew up and kept doubling down and doing bigger and bigger things for their audience to enjoy. Because let's be honest, it's hard to knock the production and creativity that goes into Kai and Speed's big streams. But also, to counter that, clearly it's a lot more dangerous to be a popular female streamer, especially to IRL stream, because I've been covering internet culture for almost a decade now, and it's pretty much always some dude crashing out over a female influencer.
Yeah, it's like I've been a content creator, a full-time content creator for 10 years, but I have to say I've been involved with the YouTube scene for 15 years. So there was like that 5-year period where I was just kind of learning about content creating and all that stuff. And then 2015, then that's when I was like, all right, well, I think I have like enough experience to become a content creator myself. And that's one thing, just like from seeing my streams and seeing like one of like my female friends in their streams, people come to my streams and we just talking about the game or talking about whatever. But it's like where there's at times where it's like I've seen this in streams where it's like guys are just be mad weird in a female stream for no reason, to the point where it's like, yes, you're gonna get blocked or banned. And I'm like, don't be, because my thing is, I've had to do that myself. I'm like, I would have to say I haven't had the same experience as a female streamer, but yeah, I've had my fair share of like moments where there's been people that have joined my streams and they're just being weird for no reason, asking me some old off the wall questions or just saying some old off the wall stuff. And it's one of those things where I'm all like, I can say that I've had some relatable situations, but I can't fully relate to them because female streamers, they go through it. And it is a tough world for female streamers. So after this video gets uploaded, I'm like, please, people, be respectful to, if I could convince anybody just based off of this video alone or any other content that I do, if I could convince y'all to just be more respectful to female streamers, do that. That's not me being a simp. That's just me having common sense to know, okay, acting like how that guy was acting, even if it's on some stuff where you don't even like that female streamer, okay, then don't watch them. But still, it's just one of those things where it's like, I got common sense to know that I'm not going to achieve anything, or life is going to be difficult for me after a clip like that. Because I'm like, people are going to recognize you. People are going to know you could change your appearance. You could do all these other different things. But I'm like, people are going to always remember you for that. So it's like you go viral for doing something else. Like let's say that guy wants to kickstart his streaming career, and he starts blowing up. Like it's like years down the road, people done forgot about him, and then all of a sudden he starts blowing up. Then there's gonna be that one person. 100,000 people are gonna probably follow him, but it's gonna be that one person that somehow, some way takes that spotlight off of you, puts it on them, and that's when they're gonna say, hey, aren't you that guy that threatened Miru, Senna, and Valkyrie and stuff because you couldn't get their number? Then that's when everybody's going to be looking at you all like, what do you got to say for yourself? Then that's when he's going to be like, I was going through a tough time. Like, they try to come up with excuses. They're like, no, bro, you was weird. You was definitely being weird with that. So it's like, there ain't no excuses for that. It's one of those things. I would just like to know, like, where is he at mentally right now? Because it's one of those things where I'm like, I already know he probably has to be thinking along the lines like how hard life is for him right now because of this dumb mistake that he wanted to make in things. But anyways.
And not vice versa. There's definitely way more risk involved with being a female IRL streamer. And when you're trying to grow a following and you're not making that kind of money yet, security, that's a massive expense. That's not cheap. These three can afford that, which is probably what they're going to be doing now in the future. But it's also, that's just a sad reality of the world that we live in now. It's kind of depressing that it has to be like that. But they didn't go on to tell us what happened after the
got I feel like if you're a female streamer, you gotta go to like areas where, and that's the thing where I'm like, what area could you possibly go to where it's like the crowd ain't gonna be heavy? Because I feel like then somebody, they just travel, if it's a stalker, they'll just travel out their way to go out there and like, so like, yeah, let's say you're gonna do a stream in Ireland or something, right? and you go out there and then there just be some guy. It's all like, oh well, I'll fly out to Ireland too. I got the money for it, but I'm crazy. I don't, none of that stuff ain't facing. And it's just, yeah, it's stuff like that where I'm like, man, you know, it's tough. It really is tough for a female streamer. It doesn't matter where you travel to. It doesn't matter where you go to. You just got weirdos out there where it's like they want to do something weird, and it's like, fam, there ain't no reason for you to be weird. But anyway,
Camera cut.
He kept running
yeah,
and
this is
trying
the
to
clip.
get something out of his pocket. And like I said, like, you guys, when that clip cuts off, like, we had to run into a store screaming that somebody was going to kill us so that somebody would step in and let us in the back. And we were lucky that one of the workers, who was not like questioning us, actually like believed us, and he put us all in the back. And they're panicked. They didn't know what to do, so they tried to bring us behind the buildings to help us, but we didn't know where he was. I think when we went in the store, he backed off because it was a lot of people. And so we don't know where he was. We didn't know where he went, and we had to beg the workers to hide us because they kept trying to tell us that it's not
so like, one thing I'm noticing between Senna and Valkyrie is like, Valkyrie seemed like she's, I don't know, like maybe she's just composing herself, and maybe this is, I don't know how many times like she done dealt with something like this. I imagine like each time it is gonna be scary, but it seems like she's more used to it than Senna. Like, I don't know how many times Senna has dealt with it either, but it just seems like that she's dealt with it more than Senna, and that's why you see like where Senna, it's like, yeah, it's like anybody, you know, would break down over some stuff. You genuinely felt like you almost lost your life. I think some people, they, like I said, they handle it differently than others. And I think that, yeah, you know, like maybe that's just the case where it's like, you know, Valkyrie, she just can't shed no tears over this. But yeah, I imagine it's like, you know, first time around, it's like you are going to react to it in a way where it's like, dang, man, like that was pretty scary. So yeah, it's like everybody's reaction is different, but it just makes you wonder. It's like, dang, like how many times has this, because Valkyrie, she's been in the game for a minute now. Like that's one name that I've like heard for the longest when it comes to content creating and stuff. And Senna, I mean, she I feel like past like what, 2-3, probably even longer than that, but it seemed like, yeah, she's kind of like, I don't think she hasn't been in the game as long as Valkyrie, but still though, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, it's like it makes you wonder. It's like, dang, it's bad where it's like you can't even shed any tears over it. Like you can't, like, and that's just what's gonna be crazy about it. And it's like up until, you know, that point where they get security or they just don't do no more IRL streams and stuff. But it's like, you know, eventually it's gonna be the same for Senna too, where it's like she just can't shed no tears over it, and it's just the same stuff over and over again. I'm like, man, you know, it really is hard being a content creator, especially a female content creator, but it shouldn't be something that you get used to. You know, it's like it shouldn't get to a point where it shouldn't even be happening at all in the first place. But yeah, it's like it shouldn't get to a point where you're used to it. But anyway,
their fault, but they kept trying to get us to go back around where it happened and saying that he was gone, but we said we didn't know if he was gonna come back. And so we had to hide in a shed for 15 minutes until the cops came.
Yeah, if he was trying to pull something out of his pocket while screaming he was going to kill them, that's horrifying. Yeah. The last thing we would want is a Twitch version of like whatever happened to Christina Grimmie. Because unfortunately, it seems like people are getting more and more unhinged than ever. But given that added context, it completely makes sense why they were horrified.
I remember that situation. I think she was like, they said she was leaving out of somewhere. And there's like all these like fans, I think, like lined up. And I think there's like the guy pulled out a gun and shot and killed her and stuff. And I think that was that situation. But that's why I'm like, man, you know, you just got it at times. And that's the thing where I'm like, you know, if that day does come where I do need to get security, and that's something that's crossed my mind too, where it's like, I don't want it to be, and I guess like if it's somebody that's trained and then they're all like, okay, we know how to control a crowd, so stuff like that can be avoided. But it's like, I wouldn't want that to happen to nobody in the crowd, where it's like, you know, it's a bullet that was meant for me, but then somebody else gets hit with it. And then it's like, if it's my security, and it's like, I hired this person to protect me, and they did, and they lost their life over it. That's why I'm like, man, you know, it's things like that where I'm like, I don't know, like it's one of those things where I'm all like, you know, while the security guards watching my back, I'm also watching their back. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I don't know, like I think it would be best for me to be my own security, but I mean, if that day does come where I do need security, then yeah, I definitely will hire it and stuff, hire them. But yeah, it's gonna be one of those things where I'm all like, hey, you know, you watch my back and I'll watch yours. I'm like, besides us being, it's gonna pretty much be like a Robin Big thing where it's all like, nah, this is my friend. I'm like, you know, on top, if they still want to be my security guard, cool. But I'm like, I am also going to be your security guard. So if there's a guy my size going after you, I got your back. If there's a guy your size going after me, I expect you to have my back. Because I'm like, man, what's going on right now? So, but anyways, yeah, jokes aside though, I'm like, I think that yeah, the day when you do become a big content creator, you need to definitely invest in security. Either security you can like hold onto a holster, or security that's following you around and they got a holster and then they got their, you know, security on security thing. But anyways.
But and then speaking of hating on her cameraman for not defending them, that's not his job.
Yeah.
Like, well, he is not security. I bring my editors out and cameramen sometimes if I wanted to like film something in public. And if someone decided to confront me or attack me, my cameraman's job isn't to defend me. It's to get that on camera, because that's on me for not hiring security. That's a completely different job title. But it's also good to see that they realize that as well, and they're not blaming him for not.
It seemed like he was like stepping in front of the guy to keeping them from approaching. So it's like that guy could have very well, like, let's say if he had a knife and he stick the camera guy and things. I'm like, fam, I'm like, in some sort of way, he was doing more than what his job was, or you know, than what he was hired for. He was blocking that guy off. So I'm like, it's like if you look closely, it's like him and the cameraman had to have been standing side by side at one point in time. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I felt like that the cameraman, he did more than enough. You know, he did more than what his job required him to do. And it's like all he was just required to do is just be a camera guy. He's stepping in front where it's like the guy could have very well did something, you know, to where it's like, yeah, overall it's he could have lost his life fooling around with that guy. So I'm like, it's not on the security guard, or not. Well, it shouldn't be on the security guard. It shouldn't be on the camera guys. It shouldn't be on how Senna, Valkyrie, and Miru, Emily, or anybody in that group. It shouldn't be on them on how to handle that situation. It should have been on the stalker, because it's like you shouldn't even have been there in the first place if you knew that that's how you were going to carry on. So that's why I'm like, people are trying to blame them guys, but I'm like, blame the stalker. It's his fault for carrying on like that in the first place. So anyway,
defending them. So I think this situation was overall a massive eye-opener for them, and most likely if they're going to IRL stream again, they'll probably have security. It's sad that it's like that, but I guess this is just the world we live in now. But I gotta go because I'm literally hopping on a plane to Korea, because I foolishly said, hey, if this video gets 50,000 likes, I'll fly to Korea and go to the Johnny Somali trial. Yeah, we hit that pretty quickly. So I have a plane to catch in 2 hours. So if you guys want some behind the scenes on that, I will be posting a lot on my Instagram story, which is just Atozy on Instagram. You can find me there and see the behind the scenes of my travels to Korea.
I said Atozy, right? My fault.
Yeah, to see one of the most controversial internet people's trials. Yeah. And obviously, I'll be making a big YouTube video on that as well. But other than that, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, and YouTube thinks you'll enjoy this video, and hopefully, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Caught up in stuff. I'm like, bro, go home and stay home. But yeah, that situation with Valkyrie, Senna, and them guys, I'm like, yeah, it was pretty messed up that they had to go through that. But yeah, people trying to blame them for like overall, like, you know, for that situation. I'm like, yeah, you can't blame them for no stuff like that. It's just yeah, to me that's not gonna make any sense. So I guess, like, just speaking from experience of being a content creator, you'll know that it's not Senna and them guys' fault for how they reacted to that. It's that stalker's fault for how he's carrying on. But anyways, make sure if you guys haven't, though, go subscribe to Atozy for more videos like this. Like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.